If someone had told me I'd only be discovering my game of the year in the second half of December, I would not have believed them, but here we are. A couple of days ago I finished Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion for the first time, and it's time to sit down and talk about it. Huge thanks to Square Enix for providing me with the review copy of the game. I've been given plenty of amazing opportunities by this company this year, and I'm incredibly grateful for the continuous chances they've been taking on me as a content creator. This review does not contain any story spoilers for the game, and I most definitely didn't include any final chapter footage in as a B-roll. But if you'd like to not see any of the playthrough whatsoever, feel free to alt-tab and simply listen to the video. My name is V, and if you're here on the channel for the first time, subbing is a great idea if you're a fan of RPGs. On this channel, you'll find plenty of playthroughs, live streams, highlights, and shorts, mostly focusing on JRPGs, SRPGs, ARPGs, and occasional adventure games. Now, on to Crisis Core. The most important thing to talk about is, without a doubt, the game's story. I'm normally not a fan of completely wholesome, positive characters, as I find it a lot more appealing to play as someone a bit dark and dysfunctional, but I've gotta say that Zack Fair has completely won me over. The positive energy, hope, love, and almost childlike innocence he radiates is contagious, turning every one of the 10 chapters into a pleasant experience I looked forward to, while not wanting the previous one to end. The story of Crisis Core Reunion cuts deep. It's an emotional roller coaster that tugs at the heartstrings with no apologies, no matter who you are. If you're the kind of person who plays for the story, there's plenty of satisfaction and emotional damage waiting for you along the way. And honestly, I hope you'll experience both, as that's definitely the designed experience. When it comes to voice acting, things get a little rocky for me, as I may have made the mistake of playing this game in English. For me, some voice actors were either a hit or miss, with Genesis being the absolute highlight of the entire game. I honestly wish I could say the same for Zack, as I loved most of his voice lines, but some of the iconic moments felt like they were lacking the emotional depth that could have been achieved with a voice that didn't constantly remind you it was, well, there. And being kicked out of your own immersion due to the voice being a bit unconvincing is definitely something you want to avoid feeling. On my next playthrough, I'm definitely going to choose Japanese voice acting, as I'm hearing very good things about all of the main characters' voices, and from the little that I've had the chance to hear, I highly recommend it to you too. The fact that IRL Zack and Aerith are actually married makes the whole experience more enjoyable in my opinion, and I'll be looking forward to experiencing it and letting you know how I felt about the voice acting in my second playthrough. On the bright side, the entirety of the game is voiced, and talking to different NPCs across the game is one of the most satisfying activities as you're walking around and exploring. I'm pretty sure that everyone who plays Crisis Core Reunion is in it for the story, but apart from just that, there's an actual good game in the background too. The game's systems like Materia Fusion and the DMW are a joy to explore and play around with. The combat is responsive and made me feel like I was casting and hitting before even pressing my buttons fully. Having the chance to explore different materia builds is a lot of fun, as you can save presets depending on whether you're trying to be more tanky, be a better spellcaster, or something completely different. The addition of random combat is somewhat annoyingly nostalgic, but considering how quickly you level up by participating in those mini battles, it's very satisfying. I didn't get to toy around with Materia Fusion and Buster Sword proficiency grind as much as I would have liked, but those two systems are something I feel like I want to get into more as I explore the game's higher difficulty. The best way to actually explore combat is the side missions, which is an incredibly addictive game mode that has you do both side quests and missions that give you gear, materia, summons, and so much more. By the time I finished the game, I was only at around 30% of all the completed missions, and there's still so much to do in order to push me past my close to 20-hour playthrough. They're fast, rewarding, and an overall blast to play through, especially the ones that give you additional lore on some of the characters. Crisis Core Reunion's art is something I feel quite at home with, especially after playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake. I love that the visual assets are freely shared between the two games, as I got to relive some incredible moments from Remake by just walking around Midgar, the train station, and some other areas. Both the characters and the monsters look incredible, and there's so much effort put into everything that makes up the world. The game is a treat for the eyes, especially for the longtime fans who have been waiting for Crisis Core's remaster for so long. For me, the summon animations are the absolute highlight of the artistic value of this game, as the art team decided to just go all out and demonstrate what exactly they can do given time and resources. Another form of art I was quite amazed by is the music. A lot of the soundtracks will shower you with nostalgia if you've played any of the Final Fantasy VII games before, and even if you haven't, you are in for a treat. The mood matches the soundtrack perfectly in all of the cutscenes, dragging you out of action-packed, vivid tunes, straight into gentle melodies that melt your heart and you won't even mind. When it comes to the game's overall performance, I have to say that this is one of the most responsive, crisp, and smooth games I've played in a long time. As I stream most of my playthroughs, I'm normally very cautious about playing on the highest settings, as my hardware still has things that could be upgraded considering what I do for a living. I was able to unapologetically crack Crisis Core Reunion up and not experience a single stutter, dropped frame, or lag, as the game is just so very well made. Even if your hardware is pushing and shoving through the struggle of playing some of the newer games, I'm very confident that you'll be running Crisis Core Reunion quite smoothly. And that's pretty much it for now when it comes to my first thoughts on Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. If you have any questions or feedback of your own, I'd love to see them in the comments. And if you haven't subbed to the channel yet and you're into RPGs, make sure to do so now, so you don't miss out on the future content. You can find my full playthrough in the pinned comment of this video should you want to check it out, but beware of the spoilers and thread through the lore bits carefully if you haven't played the game yet. If you'd like to check out the game, the Steam link is in the description of this video. Enjoy, have fun, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.